Yeah. Hi, everybody. I feel like, oh, okay. So now we're live. I'm a little like 3 minutes late because I didn't realize I was talking that I was live. So here I am. I am live also. My name's Michele London, and I am filling in for Rachel on 5D Daily. She's away on vacation, and she asked me to fill in on this show, and I'm really super excited to do that. And so if you're here and you want to chime in and let me know that you're here, I hope I can see your comments. Let me just do a little scroll down here to see. Oh, all right, here it is. I see it now. Okay, so if you're logging in to this program right now and you want to let me know you're here, that would be awesome. Also, I wanted to say that my relationship with Rachel is that I was a former student of hers, and so about 2 years ago, I had a calling to channel, and so I was looking on the internet for resources of where I could find schools, and there was a lot of material out there, I have to say, on the internet, but what I was finding was these pre-recorded modules, and I wanted to have a human. Sometimes you just want to have a human interaction, and that's why I found Rachel, because she's very interactive and very hands-on, and her classes are live, which is amazing. And she's based out of Tennessee and I'm based out of New York, and it just makes no difference. Hi, Rachel. She's actually here, and I'm telling everybody about our story and how I connected with you. So through my lessons with Rachel and all of the learning and the exposure that she guided us through, hi, Catherine. I was introduced to a partner guide, and his name is Chow. And we have come to understand that he is my partner guide, even though throughout my course with Rachel, I was introduced to a lot of different guides and this is what you learn when you take her course. You learn your inner circle guides, your partner guides, your protector guides, all kinds of dimensional beings and galactics, and which is super fun. It's right up my alley. And so this is where Rachel and I really connected as well. So yeah, so because of my experience with Rachel, I channel a being called Chow, and Chow is a mantis. He is a high vibrational being of the light, praying mantis. And from what I understand, he is part of a collective, and we have shared past lives together. Now, the reason why I know that is because during the course that I was taking with Rachel, I also did a QHHT, past life regression, and I learned in that regression my history with Chow. And the history that we shared is that he was a supervisor of sorts. I was a fledgling of his, but he was very much like a father figure to me. And we were part of this crew. I was a scout that went searching out planets to see if they could obtain life, for cultivating life, actually taking planets and cultivating life on those planets. And that was my role in that lifetime, and Chow was my superior, but father figure kind of thing. And we worked on this ship that was filled with all kinds of beings from different systems and different races of planetary beings, and they all had their different agendas on that ship, different than ours. So that's the history that I share with Chow, but I believe that that was probably millions upon millions of Earth years ago, and in a completely different dimension. So, oh, my background looks amazing. Well, I don't know what you're seeing, Rachel, but it's actually my Reiki room. I didn't put like anything artificial. Hi, April. So that's my little spiel about my relationship with Chow and how that all came to be. And I also feel that the reason why he came forth as my partner guide, and partner guide is a guide that is the most important representative or support system in this present moment in my current life right now. And so he is it. And I feel like he is ushering me into a new phase of my life. And I can really say that I am entering a new phase of my life. I've always had a spirituality about me, but then life kicks in, and I was a single mom for many, many years and just working to survive on a 9-to-5 job. And I'm pulling away from that. And the universe is all coming together to allow me to fully pursue my spirituality, which, like I said, was always there, but on the back burner. Now it's coming, hi Shauna, now it's coming back into play in a big, big way. And I believe that Chow is here to help support that shift in my consciousness. But I also feel like Chow is our representative of something very exotic. When it comes to galactics, in general, he is very exotic because he's an insectoid. And I think that most people, when they hear something like that, it's frightening, number one, because they don't understand it. And rightly so. I mean, like, it's first for a lot of people, not for people who are here chiming in, because you guys all understand our connection to our galactic brothers and sisters. But I also feel like for people who might be just dipping their toe into this whole area of belief and knowingness, that our roots are completely enmeshed in our galactic origins. And insectoids are part of that. And insectoids come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are of high vibration and some are not. Just like humanoid extraterrestrials, galactics, some are of a higher vibration and some are not. So it's really important when we start to investigate this area of thought that we utilize our discernment and do our research and really rely on our intuition and our gut when we are trudging along this whole new area of thought. So with that, what I'm going to do today is have Chow come in, and I'm going to do a brief channeling to see what he has to say, and then we'll see if anybody has any questions. And you can certainly ask Chow questions. But I also want to say, before I have Chow come in, that there's a difference between being a psychic medium and being a channeler. I believe that everybody channels, everybody, at certain varying degrees. So when you're in a sport activity, like when you're playing tennis or swimming, you're in the zone, you're actually channeling at those moments because time flies by. There is no time. When you're writing, journaling, and you suddenly look at the clock and it's like, a half hour goes by, you're totally channeling when that happens. So channeling comes in many different ways of expressing itself. But when you consciously channel, you are actually inviting for that experience. And I feel like channeling has come a really long way. 20 years ago, trance channeling was where the person would actually be removed from their body. They would go in a meditative state and have no memory of what the entity who entered the body is saying until after they listen to the recording. That whole thing still does exist. There are channels out there that do that. Bashar is one of them. He's a very famous, well-known channel. I know that most of you know who he is. But channeling today is growing and evolving, where most channels today are doing it consciously. So some people do it with their eyes open. Some people do it with their eyes shut. I do it with my eyes shut because I feel like I have more focus that way and I can have a stronger connection. So everybody is going to channel their own way. It's growing. This whole evolution of channeling is growing and evolving every single day. And it's really super exciting to see all the channels out there that are doing their work bravely. And you have to be really vulnerable, putting yourself out there for judgment and criticism. And I'm just so encouraged to see all the other people that are out there doing it. So April, I had a question for later. Let me just read your question before I go into it, and maybe we can get back to it. As a child, I had a love for mantises and actually brought an injured one into our house to care for it. I wonder now if I just love animals or if I maybe have a deep memory of people. Just curious. Well, we'll see. We'll go back to this question and have him address that for you. That's really exciting, April. So for now, let me have Chow come in and we'll just take it from there. So just give me a minute. Yes, yes, yes. We are here connecting. We are feeling the energy flowing between you, the viewers, and us. We are here connecting with your energies. And what we wish to express to you today is a confirmation that all on your planet are entering a new consciousness. Many of you are very aware of this transition that is happening. But sadly, there are many more who are oblivious to this shift in energy, shift in consciousness. But this does not matter. For if you understand the concept of 100 monkeys, if you understand the concept of this tipping scale, you understand that it only takes a small percentage that of no less than 20% of your souls on your planet to actually consciously be aware of this new paradigm that has flooded your frequencies as of late. This new shift in consciousness, this new earth that is emerging. It only takes a handful of souls on your planet to fully consciously engage in this shift for it to trigger the domino effect that will occur, the snowball, if you can imagine this in your mind's eye, a snowball effect, for it to unfold so that whether people are consciously aware of what is happening, they too will experience this shift. Now, because they are not aware of what is happening to them, they may be kicking and screaming, not understanding why so many changes are occurring to them collectively as well as personally. So this again is bringing up the idea that if you are prepared and more consciously aware of the energy shifting that is happening on your planet, the transition will be very smooth for you. You can see on your planet through this new consciousness that a byproduct of it is destruction. This is the only way that the new energy can enter your realms. You have to remove all of the energies that no longer serve you, no longer serve the new frequency, this new earth frequency that is fluctuating in and out right now of your dimension, moving into fourth dimension. Yes. This is an occurrence that is happening like a wave. Thus, sound wave heals is a very appropriate name for Miss Rachel's company. She understands the concept of this wave idea. So, if you can visualize a wave right now, you can understand that there are times when the wave is going down into the bell curve, we would say, going down into the bell curve, where it slips back into third density, but then it moves back up to fourth density, and it stays on fourth density, the crest of the mountain, on top of that wave for longer periods of time. And when this happens and you do your work, your meditations take on a new spin. Your meditations take on more significance, a broader, more in-depth experience. And this is because you're staying on top of that crest of that fourth vibration, that fourth density, for longer periods of time. And as this happens, this flow of high fourth density dipping back down to third density, back up to fourth density, as this continues to move in your reality, this brings us closer to fifth density, which is the ultimate goal. We say this to you, we come to you as a galactic insectoid being For we want you to understand and practice your discernment. We want you to understand that if you come upon channelers who are channeling entities, or you are meeting your guides who happen to be galactics in your meditations or dream state, whatever the case may be, we wish for you to understand to use discernment. And when you're listening to others, use discernment. Beware if any one of these beings is promising anything for taking away your individual burdens, your collective burdens on your planet. For you must understand that the burden ultimately is on you. Yes, we are here to support you. We are here to encourage you. But the ultimate work is yours and yours alone. Any entity, any race, galactic being who comes channeled or through your meditations, or you are surfing the net and listening to other channels, make sure that you are not buying into any promises of these races proclaiming that they will do the work for you. This will be cause for you to pull back and understand that the responsibility again lies with you. This is just a precautionary piece of advice that we give to you so you can move through these transitions between third, fourth, and fifth densities more smoothly and more consciously. Your relationships with your galactic beings, your history with your galactic brothers and sisters goes further back than you can imagine. You have to understand that you are seeds, offsprings of many different star races. This concept, for those who are listening to this transmission today, is an idea that they are fairly comfortable with. But understand and be patient with those in your lives who are very uncomfortable with this idea, for it does rub against most organized religions. It does rub against most of what your scientific community has even said. So there is going to be a time in your history, in the not too distant future, we would say within the next 3 to 5 years, that you will all have to create your own story again, as far as your origin story. It will be a combination of your biblical teachings with a new understanding of your galactic origins. Many of your religious teachings are based in superstition, yes, but also they are based in truth, however misinterpreted they have been expressed. So, going back to your biblical books, you will be able to see more of the truth. It will not be necessary to rewrite the Bible, to rewrite all of the works. It will not be necessary, but it will be necessary for you to read them with a new perspective. And we wish for you to understand and honor the growth that you have all been engaged in. You are all tipping your toe into fifth density, yes. Back to fourth density, back to third density, and back to fifth again in this wave. And we see the work that you are consciously engaging in on your planet. This is a time of celebration. This is a time of joy. understanding that you came to this planet to have these experiences, you came to this planet to share this information. It is scary. We understand the judgments that are out there. But we also see from our vantage point that these judgments are waning. And there is a new wave of energy that is going to be allowing more of you to fully express your truth. To fully express your truth. You can do this now. You will be able to do this. Your news media, your governments are waking up too. In amidst all of the crumbling, all of the destruction of old paradigms, of old societies, of old oligarchs in your world, they are running frantic. They are running frantic because they understand on a subconscious level that their time, their reign over your planet is coming to an end. The last cycle of 26,000 years is coming to an end. And a new beginning is in plain sight. You are part of that new beginning. And so we come to you with love in our hearts for you to not fear us, not fear the different forms, insectoids, aquatics, humanoid, races that are out in the cosmos that you are connected with. There is a representation on your planet of a higher life form, a higher vibratory life form that created it. So when you see the beetle, the dung beetle, scurrying along on the sand dunes, imagine in your mind's eye of a higher vibrational dung beetle who was the progenitor race that created that insect. When you think of things in those terms and you see the variety on your planet, you'll be able to see the vastness of all the different varieties of life forms that you are connected with, dear ones. And we give you a message with light to help connect you to your roots, your true roots, and there are many, and they are vast. Ushia soya koya kanana yatoya tiki eseya toya nanana yataya. Ukiashaya soya kanana yatoya kinini yataya shikiya. Ukiashaya soya kanana yatoya tundiashaya soya kanana yataya. Ukiaya uchiaya seya koya kanana yataya na. Okay, everybody. I hope you liked that. Wow, I think I went on there for a while. And so yes, I am a conscious channel, so I pretty much heard everything that Chow was saying. And let me see what the comments are. Oh, hi, Joelle. Catherine, Joelle. All right, so listen, I'm going to scroll down here and see Wendy's there. I'm going to answer. Okay, I'm just reading April here. She says, so true about the state of channeling now, very different and more widespread. Absolutely, I agree with that. So I picked it. And April also says, Chow's message is so important and clear and true and so relevant right now. Thank you, April. Oh my God, it is like God creating us in his image. Yes, all is created in the image of something or someone similar but higher vibration. Absolutely. I totally believe that too. So let me go into a trance, and for April in particular, to see if we can go back and give her some insights. Let me just go back to answer this, read this question again. It was about when she was a little girl and she brought a praying mantis into the house to care for, and she wondered if I just love animals or if I maybe had a deep memory of his people. Okay. There is a link between the mantis beings and you, my dear. And this was important for you to discover this today. This was one of the reasons why you came today to view this transmission. To awaken up within you this idea of the vastness of your history. Your history has been in many different realms, in many different mental dimensions, as well as physical incarnations. So you absolutely have had experiences with our race, which is why you have an affinity to the insects that you see on your planet. Those are just reminders, postcards, if you will, of your connection. There is, when you think about the praying mantis insect on your planet, there is a very positive, light affiliation with this insect, much different than would be spiders, for example. The praying mantis has an aura about it, the insect itself, that is connected to a higher vibration than that said of spiders, for example. We do not say that all spiders are negative, but there is a negative attachment to them. And this has to do with Orion and Mars incarnations of these particular species who were used to go to battle for other darker races within the cosmos. They were their foot soldiers. So this memory translates to you on Earth when you see a small itty-bitty spider. It triggers a cellular memory of the larger species that were war soldiers for the dark forces. Your affinity to praying mantises on your planet is quite the opposite. Your affinity to praying mantises, dear April, is because you indeed have had lifetimes as a mantis. And this is very comfortable for you to digest, very comfortable for you to accept. And we hope this answers your question. Wow. So cool, right? Yay, yay, yay. Okay. Oh my God, Catherine. I can't believe that you're here. I love spiders. She loves spiders. That's so funny. What does that say about me? Well, you know something? That, to me, everybody has different experiences. Just because Chow was communicating one type of experience of people's phobias, I believe that it doesn't translate. That means that everybody has, phobias of spiders. That's a very common one, though. And that one stems from probably lifetimes of being scared to death of these warrior spiders, from these battles that took place on other planets and other systems, and such as Mars and Orion and things like that. So you obviously didn't have that experience, so it's nothing bad to say about you. And Rachel says, yes, I have heard about this spider thing. This also applies to the disgusting bug that starts with an R. Yeah, totally. Oh, absolutely, because I would take a spider any day before I took that one, Rachel, because that one's a big for me. I am crying. Oh my God. Yeah, and Rachel says, I probably don't have a past life with spiders. I don't either. So yeah, it's really interesting, right? I think that everyone has their own experiences, and that's what makes the world go round, because we're all different. And I just find it all fascinating. So when I tell people that I'm a history buff, they have no idea what I'm talking about. Because when I say that I'm a history buff, I'm a galactic history buff. And yeah, I'm a history buff when it comes to Earth history, but Earth history, the way that it's taught today, is wrong, wrong, wrong. Unfortunately, our Earth history has been corrupted for millennia. But yeah, I love all this stuff. I love talking about this stuff. I love channeling this stuff. That's just who I am. I can't get enough of it. So, listen, I've been chatting away here for half an hour already. I can't believe it. Tortured by, what does Joelle say? I used to have a horrible phobia of spiders, but now I help get them out of the house before they get killed. That's very nice. I kind of feel the same way too, Joelle. I used to have a horrible fear of spiders, but not so much anymore. It's the R's. It's the roaches. That's what I skeeve and like completely flip out over. Maybe it's because I live in New York and I've seen way too many of them. Absolutely. So yeah, I think unless anybody else has a question for me, I'm going to wait a couple minutes. If nobody has a question for me, I'm going to sign off for today's little 5D daily, and that will be it. I used to squash them, but now I get the spiders out too, Rachel says. Yeah, not so. In fact, I feel that way with all bugs. I never liked killing bugs anyways because I don't like the sound that it makes when you kill them. That crunch sound. You know, so I always try to get them in a cup and put them outside. Oh, you had one, Rachel, a bug. All right, let me go to the top here. Let me look. Hold on a second. Usually we only see one picture. Okay, Rachel, I'm looking. I'm looking. Oh, here we go. I have a question for Chow. Those who were following an ascension way back when in the 60s or even in 2012 and feel frustrated with repeat of information, could he give some insight on understanding that ascension is here within our lifetime? Let me see what else she has here. Of course, I have heard many wonderful answers to this, but would love to hear Chow's perspective since this is much of the ascension conversation lately. Awesome. So let's see what Chow has to say. We love this question, and the reason why we love this question is because this channel also have been wondering about this, and the reason why she has been wondering about this is because this truly is indeed a repeat of what has happened in 2012, and we would even go further back and say in 1986. It began more in 1986 with the harmonic convergence. And when you look back at that time, for those who are old enough to look back during that time of 1986, 1987, 1999, or 1989, we would say, that was a time of your activations on your planet. Hotspots, ley lines, portals were being activated at that time. And all of this talk that you are having today with us all started way back in 1984, 1986, in and around that period of time with the harmonic convergence. And again, it fluctuated up into 2012 with the end of the Mayan calendar. And it is repeating, but it does build upon itself. Back in the 80s, your collective awareness was just waking up. And what is happening now is that you have built up a momentum. So yes, you are revisiting topics of discussion that were brought about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 10 years ago. But the conversation is escalating to a higher vibration much more quickly, much quicker than it had been before. We are not having to wait for the people to come up to where we are currently in our conversation, in our awareness and perspective. So we say to you that acknowledge that this is a repeat of a cycle that is happening on your planet, but it is all part of the plan. It is part of the plan because when you repeat something enough times, it becomes embedded in your cell memories. That you will be able to flip out with your conversations to people very easily, much more easily than you could have 20, 30 years ago, even 40 years ago. So you have grown, you have evolved in your understanding of your connection to the cosmos, in your connection to this new earth that is at your doorstep. You have stepped through the threshold of this new earth. You are already in the new earth. Up until that point, it was conversations about the new earth, not having stepped into it yet. But you are there. You are already in the new earth. One toe in, one toe out, and before you know it, you will be completely merged into this new frequency. And we hope this answers your question. Okay. That's what he had to say. It's funny, Rachel, because I too have been noticing like a lot of deja vu. Like, haven't I had this conversation before? Haven't we been talking about this before for so long? And I agree with him. I think that we're still talking about it, but it's taken on a completely different dimension. It's taking on more resonance within us. And that's why it has more meaning for us, because it's more powerful, because it's really settling in with our energy right now. Okay, guys, that is the end of our show. It was a really big show. And thank you so much for allowing me to fill in for Rachel. Rachel, thank you for asking me. This was really fun. And if you guys want to reach me, for those who are not part of TAG or not part of Rachel's Circle, which is her membership, you can reach me at my website. And I don't know how to work the things down here, so I'm just going to put my little card up here, wheatonchaff.com. That's where you can reach me with all my services and what I do, because I do a lot of things. I do channeling, I do Reiki, I do sound baths, I do a lot of things. So I hope to connect with you guys soon. And see you later.